another night for us where we kind of had to make some adjustments at halftime, just in terms of how we were attacking them offensively. And I don't stats probably they don't bear it out. I mean, it was really just for us. It was about getting to the paint offensively and then defensively rebounding. I mean, that was the name of the game, which we didn't do a good job on the glass. But honestly, kind of pushing all that aside, just happy for our four seniors. Honestly, to come out here on senior night and get a win, especially against that team. We felt like we owed them one from what happened up in at their place. So just happy for our guys. To send them out of this building, which is incredible every night on a winning note. And, kudos to Utah for playing hard.
What do Dawson Baker and Mihailo Boskovich mean to the team in the win, especially in that first half?
Yeah, I mean, like as you guys know, we feel like we have a lot of depth in our locker room. So, on a given night, we can have different guys step up and lead us, in the scoring. Dawson's a guy who, probably deserves more minutes. And the one thing that makes me at least feel better knowing that he does deserve more minutes is when he comes in, I try to go to him. I try to call his number as much as I can because he's a guy that can deliver. So it just gives us, I think another punch. But I think with our group, it's hard to – you can't guard it all. You can't prepare for it all. You can't scout it all. And so I think we have multiple guys that benefit from that, those two included.
You guys are plus 18 in points in the paint, far different than what happened last time against Utah. What was different maybe in the scout going into this one?
Honestly, it was hard to draw a lot of comparisons from that first game because it felt like it was so long ago. We feel like we're a completely different team from that time. But I just think, when our group decides that we're going to do something offensively, we usually can put our mind to doing it. I thought the way Richie came out of the locker room at halftime and just ducked his head and got 2 layups in transition. That's what we talked about. He did the exact same thing against West Virginia. So, I've said this before, but we have to adjust to how teams are guarding us. Teams are, I think, nervous about the 3-point shooting, and so hopefully it doesn't take us a half to figure it out like it did in West Virginia this game. But that for me was the difference.
What adjustments did you make for Ezra? He obviously started off hot, and then you guys were really cool down.
Yeah. So that was, we went to, a little bit of a cross match where we, we're basically guarding their center with Yegor, our point guard, and then put Kaba on Asar. I thought that neutralized him pretty good. And, Lovering wasn't able to hurt us like he was up at their place. So that was kind of the difference.
Coach, this was 8 in a row for you guys. What does that do for your confidence going into the conference tournament?
I think our group is confident because of obviously the wins, as you pointed out, but just the way they work. The practice that we had yesterday was one of the most impressive things I've seen since I've been coaching. And I'm not trying to say that with an exaggeration. These guys were so dialed in and so intense yesterday. That was I feel like they're just mentally in a space that they're ready to take the world on, which as a head coach is a good feeling.
Given the offensive struggles that you guys had in the first half, how much did it alter or change momentum to have Kaba and Dallin score on back-to-back possessions to end the half?
That was huge. No, it's a great point. And that's something that we've done. I got to give Chris Burgess a lot of credit for he's kind of in charge of our, late clock management in those 2-for-1 situations. So if you really studied that whole sequence, that was a very good job of Burge having me dialed in on when to shoot, when to call the timeout, what kind of play to draw up. Then we fouled them on purpose so we could then get the last shot. I mean, it was a masterclass by him in having me ready, which, I rely on my staff to do that type of stuff. So that was just great all around.
At the time of the Utah loss, you guys were 2-4 in conference play. Since then, you've been one of the hottest teams in the country. Do you view that game against Utah in January as a turning point on the season at all?
I wouldn't say that. No, I think the turning point for us was halftime at UCF, just in terms of what we talked about in the locker room, and we haven't looked back, and the thing we tried to address, which for me was what was holding us back the most.
Only 10 turnovers tonight, Coach. Speak to how good you guys were with taking care of the ball tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously after the Iowa State game, that was something we wanted to be better at. This is not a team that pressures you as much as some of the other teams in our league. But nonetheless, for us, it's all the bottom line for BYU basketball is turnover control and rebound control. If we are good in those two areas, I think we can beat anybody in the country. So it's just those two areas of stuff that we talk about constantly.
Coach Young, you just made it through your first regular season at the helm of BYU basketball, just 23-8. Just how do you assess your regular season, and just what are you proud of accomplishing at this point?
I'm proud of the fact that we started out 1-3, then 2-4, and then didn't melt down. We just came into work every day and try to be a solution-oriented type of group, led by me and then our staff. But the players, they bought into that. And, I told them, I said, look, the sun's still coming up the next day, when we had that poor record. And just a real, I think, testament to just staying the course, and just trying to get better, honestly. I know that sounds cliche in sports, but that's just exactly what we did. So that's what I'm the most proud of.
At the beginning of the season, is this where you thought you would be, fourth in the conference? Like, how has this team kind of met your expectations going into the season?
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with expectations. I think they're very limiting. And so I never really put a benchmark on what I thought we could or couldn't do, but it became pretty obvious for me early that I felt like we could be a good basketball team. And then the more I saw other teams in the league and in the country, I felt like we have what it takes to be one of the best teams in the country. So what that means when it comes out in the wash, I never really put anything on. I really am super just tunnel vision focused on just trying to help our guys get better every day, and that's just been the recipe for us.
How much emphasis do you put on winning the rivalry game, and was there extra motivation to get this one after the loss up in Salt Lake?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I talked about with our group. I just like, hey, these guys beat us up there. We don't really need to say much else. We need to go win this game strictly because of that. And so I think that was, resonated with our group.
Two more questions? Obviously, excuse me, 5 days off before you guys play again Thursday. I know the game just ended. How would you like to go about these next 5 days not having to play again?
It's interesting. It reminds me of, you guys don't care about this, but all my references come from the NBA, so that's all I got for you, man. The play-in tournament. Usually, most of my career was pre-playing, and you knew who you were getting ready to play. You could get it all kind of dialed. Play-in tournament, change that. This is kind of what that feels like. Not knowing, we won't know who we're gonna play until 1:30 before the day we're supposed to play them at 11:30. That's insane. That's actually insane. So, I think for me it's more about obviously trying to forecast who we think it's gonna be and get some things dialed in there, but. I think, what we have to be the best version of ourselves regardless of who we're playing. So there's plenty of things that we can tighten the screws on, and that'll be kind of the mentality as we go through it.
What were the emotions for you experiencing your first senior night with guys that bought into your vision in this program? What were the experience for you?
It really didn't hit me until pre-game I came down here, and I happened to walk past Trevin, and he was kind of doing his thing, and it just – that's when it kind of hit me. You know what I mean? That'll be his last time in this building playing. So, we've, in short order been able to make some really close relationships with, when I say we, kind of my whole family, with all four of those guys, and I think they all mean something different, but what they've all done in their own way is just kind of give us a level of toughness, and that's something that I really respect about all those guys. Kind of what Trey's gone through this year, bouncing back after being completely out of the rotation. Now he's giving us key minutes. That says a lot about him. Same kind of thing with Mawut. We brought him in here highly touted as a defender, and it just kind of didn't go his way early on. He kind of stayed the course. Foose is a guy who's in all the history books here with field goal percentage, this and that. We bring Kaba in, and he doesn't bat an eye. He's able to take the, hey, we're going to rely on you, and he goes and gets his 20 and 10, to nights where it's Kaba's night or Mihai's night. So the selflessness, from him is super impressive. And then Trev's been, Trev's one of our captains. He's a guy I've personally relied on quite a bit just to kind of navigate this particular group. I love that guy. I think he's he's got a bright future in coaching if he ever wants to go into it. So I may have to talk to Tatum and see if she's cool with that. But I love those guys and just feel fortunate to have coached them. But as I told them in the locker room, like I think I may have just said it, we got a fun road ahead of us, and those guys will be a huge part of it.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.